Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we are going to talk about what you should do after you hit 7 figures in revenue. So I'll kick it off, and I think Neil and I have maybe differing philosophies here. But I think once you hit 7 figures, why not go for bigger, right? It depends on kind of what your goals are. So it might be you want to live a good lifestyle. So, in some cases, people call it a lifestyle business, right? So this is like, starting your muse, like in the 4-hour work week, or maybe you're just building something where you can just live really comfortably, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think some people think a lifestyle business, I'm air quoting right now, is not a good thing to have. People kind of look down on it. I don't think so. I think it's just what your goals are. And then other people, they want to roll the dice and they want to go for something bigger, right? Maybe they want to go for 8 figures. So what I like doing is looking at, how, what profits were for the year. And I like thinking about, okay, what kind of investments can we make for the future, right? So I like doubling down on what's already working and going for something bigger. This is assuming that you have your goals mapped out. If you haven't already, going into, the new year or whatever quarter you're in, map out your goals, figure out what makes sense for you first and foremost. Do you want a lifestyle business or you want to go for something bigger? If you do, instead of thinking about investing in cryptocurrencies or all the new hotness around you, why don't you think about investing in what you can control? Because Elon Musk, you look at him, he thinks the best investment is in, yourself ultimately, because you can control the outcome more than anything else.
Yeah, and most people, when they hit 7 figures, as Eric mentioned, why not go for 8? Everyone has a mindset, or most people that I meet, like, oh, I hit 7 figures, and now I'm going to hit 8. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. What you do to get to 7 figures usually doesn't get you to 8 if you do the same exact thing, right? It's very rare that people just keep scaling and growing to 8 figures just by doing the same exact thing that they're doing when they're at 7 figures. And no, it's not mindset where you're like, oh, you have to think it and believe it and then you'll end up hitting it. That doesn't end up getting you there. You have to end up thinking bigger. Most people who are hitting 7 figures, their businesses are all about, hey, how much can I spend right now and how much more can I make? So a lot of people, let's say if you're doing paid ads, you're going to be like, oh, I spent $1 and I made $2. That's awesome. And you keep doing that, and then you're eventually going to be like, oh, I'm tapped out. We can't scale anymore. The difference between 7-figure, 8-figure, and even 9-figure businesses is 7-figure businesses want to make money right away. 8-figure businesses more so think about lifetime value of your customer. How are you getting them? How much does it cost? Are there upsells and downsells? What do you need to do to get more revenue out of each customer? If you don't have upsells and downsells, you may have to end up adding them, right? But by doing this, what that allows is for you to spend more money to acquire a customer. If you can spend more money to acquire a customer than your competitors, it's much easier to grow to 8 figures, but you have to really optimize your business, your profit margins, and your LTV. So once you hit 7 figures, give yourself a pat on the back, but keep in mind, there's still so much more that you can end up doing. And when you're doing it, keep in mind that, hey, what could you do to optimize your business to give yourself a leg up on your competitors for specific channels such as paid advertising, SEO, content marketing, whatever it may be, so that way you can scale out more. And, when you're talking about the 7-figure mark, Eric, do you ever share your revenue or no?
No.
Okay. So do you ever share what range you're in?
Yeah.
Okay. What range are you in?
2.5 to 3.
Okay. Sure. So you're in the 7-figure range and you want to hit 8. All right. I'm assuming because you work your butt off. So what are you doing specifically after you hit 7 figures, right? Because you've been there for a bit and you've been growing and you've done a good job because the company you acquired, you had to pretty much rebuild it all and start over from scratch. So What are you doing after you hit your first $1 million in yearly revenue?
Yeah. So I guess just to back up a second, I think what Neil's talking about really relates to how really good marketers think about scaling, right? So a really good example of this is when you look at Russell Brunson and, ClickFunnels, it's really dialed in. He's willing to lose money on the front end when he's running ads. And then, he knows his back end's going to make up for that, right? That's when you get more sophisticated. Now, I think from a business perspective, when you get to seven figures, so, zero to 7 figures or so, you're really trying to figure out, product market fit. Do you have people that are interested in your product or your service? But once you start to get beyond that, it's really beyond you, because it's about, okay, who are the great people that you can hire to your team? What are the systems and processes that you can build to get to that 8-figure mark, right? And even going beyond that, the people that I've talked to that have gone even beyond 8 figures to 9 figures or so, it continues to be more about, the executive team that you have, the people that you have, the culture that you have, right? And this seems like, this is a marketing podcast, but keep in mind, like, if you're interested in marketing, you're probably interested in templates, systems, and processes. I'm really into that stuff. I think it's like a game. So, when I look at things right now, like when I look at the people we have that are senior on the team, I'm comfortable knowing that, we are going to get to the next level because, these are the people that I can rely on when I'm not there to grow the business. Those are the kind of people that you need to find. But first, you need to figure out, okay, you figure out the product and service, but what do you want your company to look like next? What are the goals next? And then you have to be able to convey that vision to those people and sell them on it, because you're always selling, right? And then get them on your team and then, grow the business for the long term.
Yeah. And the other thing Eric mentioned earlier on is like, if you want to live a lifestyle business, you can. A lot of people are like going out there and they're like, yeah, I want to create an 8-figure or 9-figure business. And why not? But here's the thing, some people like my dad or my sister are perfect examples of this. They don't really care for money. All they want to do is just live a chill, relaxed life. My dad was a loan processor, made decent money, never made a fortune. And he retired early, I think 50 something, right? I forgot the age. And once he retired, I was like, what are you going to do? And he's just like, I'm going to watch TV, soccer. I'm going to do my gardening, fix the home, whatever I can. He's like, that's what I enjoy. He's like, why do I need to keep making more money? If you're one of those lifestyle people, then by all means, optimize for profitability. Don't try to go to 8 figures, because to try to go from 7 figures to 8 figures, you can't do it on your own. You're going to end up building a huge team, right? It's too hard to scale to 8 figures with just 1 or 2 people. Your margins are going to decrease. You're going to be grinding it through. And if that's not the life you want to live, then get out early. Just optimize for lifestyle. Don't spend too much. Save your cash and then live a chill life for the rest of, however long your money lasts.
Yeah, the final thing I'll add is also, it doesn't always have to be linear, right? It doesn't mean, let's say, for example, Neil has an agency, I have an agency, and, we're growing, right? But you might just say, okay, we just need to add more salespeople. We just need to dial in the marketing machine more. But there is a faster path, right? Instead of just, taking the stairs sometimes, maybe you can take the escalator, right? Or the elevator, and move a little faster. So what do I mean by that? I mean, there's a lot of, especially, you look at people out there, there's a lot of capital out there. People are looking to acquire other businesses right now. Mergers and acquisitions is a way to think about doing it. I'm just saying this is an example of another way to do things, right? So, by the way, if you have an agency maybe you want to sell, maybe you can reach out to Neil or myself in the future if you're interested in selling your agency, because that is a model that, we'd look at it in terms of kind of stacking on the growth instead of having to build everything from scratch, right? Especially like if you look at I'll just continue to use agency as an example. You look at, like a Dentsu, or you look at, the Ogilvys of the world. They have all these different services, right? And, they've grown a lot through, mergers and acquisitions. It's not like they have to build everything from scratch, right? So don't think that you have to do everything on your own when the capabilities are out there and people are, perhaps looking to move on to the next thing or to getting tired of their business. Yeah. And again, feel free to reach out to Neil or myself if you're looking to sell your agency. Neil?
Yeah, best of luck with everything. And, hitting that 7-figure mark is very rare and most people don't do it. But whatever you're doing, it's working out so far. Keep chugging away.
Great. So that's it.
One last tip. A lot of people hit 7 figures. They're always like, oh, yeah, life is great. They're on cloud 9. And what they don't realize is shit always goes down. The question is when. Even Apple computers, yes, they're the biggest company in the world right now. But they were struggling at one point. So much so, Microsoft gave them $100 million to bail them out so they wouldn't get sued for antitrust-related stuff, because they needed a competitor to just be alive and kicking, so that way people wouldn't go after Microsoft and tear them apart, right? And it's like, look at now. Apple's bigger than Microsoft. Microsoft had its heydays where they were climbing, then they tanked, and now they're back up, right? And it happens with most companies. It's a natural cycle of businesses. So now that you're at 7 figures, keep in mind, if you take your foot off the gas, you're going to end up dying down. You're going to lose that money. The question is just when.
Yeah, the final thing I'll add on top of that actually is CYA, cover your ass, right? So, whether it's getting a line of credit when you don't need it, getting some kind of pre-approval for some SBA loan or something like that, just to have these reserves in place and also make sure that you have, 2 to 3 months of expenses in the bank. Because like Neil mentioned, bad things are going to happen, right? Like there are going to be cycles, right, in the economy or cycles in your business, whatever it is exactly. Maybe you lose a massive client, which this is why you need to diversify, right? But you got to protect yourself. Otherwise, if a bad thing happens, you're going to go under and people are going to be out of a job. And not only that, their families are going to struggle because you didn't cover your ass. So cover your ass. And that's it for today. I think this was a good episode and let us know what you think. By the way, before we go to singlegrain.com/giveaway if you want a special giveaway. It's a marketing tool that we have for you, and we will see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.